Hello.
Then, now,
Countdown to the queens.
Episode number 500.
forever.
Looks like hell froze over.
Without any more further ado,
Together.
let's jump straight into the show. Hello, welcome to episode number, I believe, 20 of the TEW IX Challenge Run. We're here for SmackDown, here on Friday, the 9th of August, 2024. Here we are, 8 days away from SummerSlam now. And tonight we have two big face-to-face segments. The first between the World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Scott and the 2024 King of the Ring winner Xavier Woods. And the latter between Women's World Champion Dakota Kai and Io Sky when they have their big rematch at SummerSlam. We also will see tonight Saya Kamitani of Queendom against Shayna Baszler, the Cyclone against Andrade and Angel Garza, and there's definitely another match we announced. Baron Corbin and Grayson Waller maybe, because we made that official, but Waller says he's at the water park this week, so, you know, who knows what's going to happen there. And then, of course, next week we have Angelo Dawkins and Carmelo Hayes 2 out of 3 falls. Without any more further ado, let's jump straight into the show. The World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Scott, Lord Bando, come to the ring to kick off the show. Because I didn't say to be in Orlando. I forgot after I'd already set the arena. But yeah, we are in Orlando. Orlando, Florida. You know, a place with a lot of meaning to WWE. The home of NXT. The home of the WWE Performance Center. And tonight, the home of the World Heavyweight Champion. Now, I've had choice words to say about my upcoming opponent at at SummerSlam, Xavier Woods. But he and I are yet to go face to face, because I've got a whole lot more I need to say to Mr. Woods, and quite frankly, I don't know if there's going to be another time, a better time for me to do it than tonight. So Woods, I know you're back there. Let's not keep these people waiting. Come out here and face me man to man. Out he comes. Out comes the new king. Xavier Woods, you know, waving his scepter in the air, crown on his head, gets into the ring. He goes, "Swerve, the World Heavyweight Champion." And he goes, "Shut it. I don't want to hear it, Woods. You gotta listen to what I say, okay? I know you think you're the guy right now because you're the king. You are King of the Ring. That is mighty impressive. You're living your childhood dream. Love that for you. But let's make one thing very clear. I don't give a damn how many King of the Rings you win. You're a Raw guy coming over here to my show. You have knocked on the door of Swerve's house and think you're just gonna come in and put your feet up and get nice and comfortable. And that's not how this works around here, man. Because listen, I've been following you guys. In fact, back when I first started WWE, you guys were inspirations to me. That's the first time I'm actually saying that out loud. But seeing guys like you and E and Kofi succeed, becoming arguably the greatest tag team in WWE history. Guys like us, we could make it. Kofi Mania inspired me. Big E becoming World Heavyweight Champion inspired me. So to that I just had to ask Woods, why'd you do it? Why'd you make me do it, Woods? Because I'd love nothing more than for you to become World Heavyweight Champion, but you've ran your mouth and cashed a check you can't cash, so now I'm going to have to stomp your dreams out at SummerSlam. You're going to have to disappoint your friends and your family. Because you can't hang on the level of me. Enough, Swerve, enough. You know, you came out here and you ran your mouth last week too. Look, I get it, I'm Xavier Woods. Nobody looks at me as a World Heavyweight Champion. And that's why I've got to become World Heavyweight Champion. You know who else nobody looked at as a World Heavyweight Champion? Kofi Kingston. And he became World Heavyweight Champion. So Swerve, I respect the hell out of you. But I'm damn sure not gonna let you sit here and disrespect me. I am the king of the ring. You beat John Cena, you beat Drew McIntyre, you beat LA Knight, that's mighty impressive. I ran through an entire gauntlet, put my livelihood, my friendships on the line. And you want to question my heart and my desire? And saying you don't think I've got what it takes to become world champion? Do you know how people would think, how you'd think when people said that about you last year? So here we are, Swerve. You want to get real, let's get real. Okay? Beneath this exterior and the unicorns and the pancakes and the booty-os, I'm a 20-year veteran of this. I ain't no pushover. Okay? Long before there was Xavier Woods, everybody knew the consequences of getting into the ring with me. And that guy, he's still in there. EFC's in him. Kofi's in him. And at SummerSlam next Sunday, you're gonna see him too. Swerve to chuckle as he goes, consequences, you want to talk about consequences? Let's talk about consequences. For you, there's a lot of them at SummerSlam, but for me, there's very, very few. See, if I lose to you at SummerSlam, it's simply embarrassing for me to lose to you after I ran you down, and maybe, just maybe, you'd earn my respect. But for you, the consequences are dire. You see, you're doing all this off of a promise to your friends. And that right there is the issue for you, Woods. You don't win the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, you disappoint not only yourself, not only Big E, not only Kofi Kingston, but all these people, New Day fans around the world who wanted to see you get it done, who believe that you could get it done. And you're weak, because your entire being and push for this World Heavyweight Championship has been about fulfilling that New Day prophecy, becoming the final member of the New Day, so all you and your friends could become world champion. Look behind me. Do you see friends behind me? You see Bando there. He's the only guy I've got. Everybody else, they were holding me back. Every single other friend I ever made in this industry, I kicked them to the curb. Why? Not because I'm an asshole, not because I don't have friends, but friends in this business simply get in the way of success. There's a reason when Big E became world champion, he did so away from you. It's because friends, while it's all well and good to have friends by your side, they're an anchor, Woods. So you bring Kofi and Big E if they can make it. You know, I hear they're still recovering from a beating Bronson Steiner gave them. It'll only make it more sweet when I stomp your ass out in front of your friends and I prove why I am the greatest World Heavyweight Champion of this era and any other era to come. And Woods goes, have you ever considered, Swerve, that you pushing all these people to the side is not because they were distractions for you? Nah. You had something to prove. You didn't need people helping you out when you became World Heavyweight Champion. That's why you dumped Hit Row. That's why you dumped ODM. Because you wanted to win every single championship match fair and square and prove to the world that you are that good. And I believe, Swerve, you've done that. Nobody will deny that. But for me, having my friends out there gives me that strength, gives me that energy, and it's going to bring me to SummerSlam when I have not just my entire heart and soul into the match, but E's, but Kofi's, and all these New Day fans for the last decade who have supported all of us. We were on the verge of being released when we debuted as Choir Boys. All the people back then who stuck with us. This isn't just for me, it's for all of them. So Swerve, you can walk down that ramp at SummerSlam all by yourself. But I'll be doing it with the heart and soul of millions around the world cheering on. And they'll be cheering louder than ever when that bell rings. And Alicia, the ring announcer, says the winner and new WWE World Heavyweight Champion, the King, Xavier Woods. Mic drop. Bang. Swerve and Xavier Woods. World Heavyweight Championship, SummerSlam. It's going down. We then cut to a shot of a nearby Orlando water park when a convertible car pulls up. Grayson Waller, he's driving it like a douchebag. He's got his arm out the window, sunglasses on, one-handed, like, steering wheel. Him and Aaliyah pull up. He goes, it's so great to be here, Orlando, it's been a bit of a crap heap since I've lived here all these years, But one of the downsides of trying to make it big here in WWE is having to live in a place like Orlando. But I think we can put that all aside tonight, babe, and have a great time. There's nowhere else we're supposed to be, so but booked a great day off, and it's going to be a great time. Just me and you, Friday, not very busy here. Let's kick it. And they walk in. I'm sure we'll hear back from them at some point during the night. Oh my god. Andrade Torres quad. Hashtag bars. Yeah. So Andrade and Angel Garza were originally going to win this match. But Andrade Torres quad, so a Audible was called, and the Cyclone now have gone over. Bronson Reed pins Andrade with a tsunami. 89 for Angel Garza, 93 for Andrade, 95 for Ricochet, 78 for Bronson Reed. And yeah, that fucking sucks. Because Andrade and Garza were like right on the brink of becoming like the top team on the SmackDown division outside of, Bryan and Pete Dunne. So yeah, back to the drawing board with them. But I guess the Cyclone are victorious here tonight. That does low-key, however, make this segment and ensuing match/storyline a little bit easier. Andrade is obviously being checked to by the medical team, and Angel Garza's checking up on him. And Bronson Reed and Ricochet go up to Garza hey, hope everything's all good, we didn't mean to hurt him like that. And then they shake hands when all three men are jumped by the Revolution. Nebo Barnes wipes out the two small men. Rufus Hamilton wipes out Bronson Reed. And Buster Gator just at ringside, in his sunglasses, dictating traffic. Rufus and Nebo go to town on all three men, because they did get the upper hand. So they can take them all out one at a time, pick them off. And the Revolution do stand tall. Buster in the middle, patting his boys on the back. Go, I see you've already learned. God, you really were lost without me, huh? Quick backstage segment. Ember Moon, she's in the women's locker room and she approaches Fallon Henley. A bit frustrated looking Fallon Henley. And Ember goes, hey, cowgirl. She goes, what? She goes, listen, I was watching Heat. I've got to keep track of everything that's going on in the women's division right now. And I saw your match on Heat against Alexa. And what happened after the match, she got very frustrated with Mickey. Mickey's a legend. Me and her have got history. And I just wanted to check, I'm sure she's doing her best. And I understand the frustration, about when I was here last time I was in the same position as you were. Just waiting for that opportunity to break out. Finally goes, yeah, don't know how much longer I can sit around here and just wait. And then it goes, so, I was talking to Adam Pearce, and I pitched a little exhibition match tonight, you and I, one-on-one. Fallon goes, cool, I'll see you out there. And then goes, listen, ahead of Evolution, I had my doubts, about Dakota and her inner strength. And she proved me wrong at Evolution. So here's tonight. Hopefully you do the same thing. We then see Baron Corbin storming into Adam Pearce's office. He goes, Pearce, what the hell's going on here tonight? I've brought my gear with me. I'm supposed to be wrestling Grayson Waller tonight, and I find out he's not here. Pearce goes, I've been trying to ring him, all night, but he's not showing up. And then he gets a FaceTime call from Grayson Waller, and he goes, hello? He goes, oh, Adam Pearce, lad, it's been really busy. I'm trying to come into work, lad, and it's I can't make it. Sorry. And then he gets splashed from behind, from the water park. And he goes, Grayson, where are you? He goes, I'm on the road, it's tossing it down with rain, lad, terrible weather here in Orlando. And then, like, he looks out of his window and it's, like, bright sunshine. And then Pierce goes, okay, well, get here when you can. And he hangs up on him. And he goes, I think I know where Grayson is. I'm not sure why he's there. Corbin goes, sounds like he needs punishment for not showing up to work. Pierce goes, what are you planning, Corbin? He goes, nothing. Nothing. Eight-rated match. Just a nice match to get Jacob Fatu on the show and give him a win. He beats The Miz in 9:23 of a Samoan drop. 94 for Jacob Fatu, 63 for The Miz. And yeah, Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, still on the run here on SmackDown. He took a L in the King of the Ring SmackDown final, but other than that, he's dominating. We then see Xavier Woods. He's walking through the hallway. No, he's wearing his crown and his scepter. When we just hear, off screen, we just hear, he stops, he turns around, and there's Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze just walks up to him, looks him up and down, chuckles to himself. He goes, suits you. And Woods just goes, thanks, no thanks to you. And Breeze just laughs as he walks off. And Woods just looks back at him and goes, okay, well, I forgot that guy was over here. Guess I've got to deal with him. We then see Ilya Dragunov. He's training again in his dojo, or gym, I guess. And he's trying to get in contact with Randy, but Randy's too worn out by the intense workout that Ilya Dragunov gave him last time. When the door for the gym flies open, and in walks the Dragon's dojo, and Brian goes, this is it. This is where the magic happens. This is the Mad Dragon's lair. And he goes, what do you want, Daniel Bryan? He goes, I'm nothing. I'm just checking out the landscape, seeing how you get things done around here. Your intensity, your European aggression. And I just wanted to stop by just to say, get him. And Miles sort of turns around and he goes, what? Brian goes, I said, go. And oh, sorry. And then Miles charges at Ilya Dragunov. Ilya fights off Miles Bourne, but then he's jumped from behind by Pete Dunne and the Trios champions. And they sort of throw Ilya around, toss him into his weights. They take the weights off, pin him down with the weights. And Brian goes, let this be a lesson, Ilya. No matter how hard you train, our style will always be ahead of yours. And they leave Ilya there laid out in his own gym. $73 rated match. Sure, I'll take that. Shayna Baszler and Saya Kamatani, following last week where Shayna was enforced by Charlotte as the martial law, I guess, overseer for this Queendom Civil War. And yeah, Shayna does pick up the win over Saya because of interference from Ariana Grace. And she pins her with some move. 76 for Shayna, 53 for Saya. So yeah, Ariana Grace finally does Charlotte proud. She twirls her way back up the ramp, giddy, rushing to the back to go tell her queen that she did good tonight. She didn't manage to fuck up this time. But yeah, Shayna with the win. We then see Angelo Dawkins and Carmelo Hayes. A video package recapping their issues. Since Dawkins returned to SmackDown as the birth of greatness, he took issues with Carmelo Hayes. Their first match, Dawkins picked up the win because Omos was at ringside for Melo and distracted him. And their second match was in the King of the Ring tournament. Carmelo Hayes won that one. And then next week, to settle it all, 2 out of 3 falls, Angelo Dawkins, Carmelo Hayes, who will come out on top. We then cut back to the women's locker room. Kyrie's there. All upset, hanging her bag up, just looking a bit out of it. When Raquel walks up, he goes, hey, Kyrie, been a rough couple of weeks for you. Kyrie sort of just looks up at her, doesn't say anything. She goes, listen, and I know me and you, we sort of had this tag team thing going on for a while. We sort of shelved all that for the Queen of the Ring business, but I just want you to let you know that I'm not going to give up on you, and if you need a partner, you'll always have me. Kyrie sort of just smiles and looks up. And then Raquel sort of just looks up at her, doesn't say anything. She goes, listen, and I know me and you, we sort of had this tag team thing going on for a while. We sort of shelved all that for the Queen of the Ring business, but I just want you to let you know that I'm not going to give up on you, and if you need a partner, you'll always have me. Kyrie sort of just smiles and looks up. And then Raquel walks away when Zelina Vega walks. He goes, "Hey, big Raquel, just the woman I was looking for." And she's like, "Hey, Zelina, how are you doing?" He goes, "Listen, I sort of put my foot in my mouth a minute ago, and I may be pissed off, Albie and Mako, those girls. And I need a partner tonight to come and try and face them. I was wondering, I thought you would be just the girl for the job." And Raquel's always like, she looks back at Kyrie, looks back at Zelina. She goes, "What, Kyrie? Kyrie's a loser. Like, come on, Raquel. Me and you, we can win." And Raquel sort of just looks back at Kyrie, looks back at Zelina and goes, "Fine. We'll team tonight. Just this once. I'll help you out." And Zelina's like, "Yay. No offense, Kyrie. You're great, but I'm sure you'll get a win soon, but, winner business." And Kyrie sort of turns around. The whole idea was that she was whispering to try and make it look like Kyrie wasn't going to hear her, but she does. Kyrie, you ever heard that all? And she's not going to get aggressive about it because, these are all baby faces here. It was just a stern telling of the truth from Zelina Vega, really. We see Grayson Waller and Aaliyah. We get a montage of them at the water park. I imagine there are other people there, but not too many. So they go down slides, they just do all this shit, cringy couples water park shit, and really obnoxiously, they get an ice cream and both lick a side of it and whatever stuff like that. And then they just sat there. We just see them sat in the middle of a swimming area on dinghies. Man, I'm so glad we skipped SmackDown for this. What a nice relaxing day out we've had, just me and you. Perfect. There's nothing that could ruin this. And then outside the arena, we cut back to the parking lot. Baron Corbin pulls up in a big truck. And he steps out. He gets a baseball bat out of his trunk. And he heads towards the entrance. '57 rated tag match. The Learning Tree Boys, Aussie Open, Kylan Rogers and Brad Sawyer pick up a tag team victory over Cruz del Toro and Wacky and Wild. Kylan Rogers pins Cruz del Toro in 4:41. 66 for Brad, 67 for Kylan, 66 for Wacky, and a 53 for Cruz. And yeah, already seeing success under the guidance of the Learning Tree himself, who does get into the ring with these two and the girls after the match. He takes the mic. He goes, "Hi guys. Hi WWE Universe. I'm so glad you managed to see my big branches, Brad Sawyer and Kylan Rogers, the first two branches of my Learning Tree, picking up a big tag team victory here tonight on SmackDown. Now, I came back here to SmackDown to entertain, to sports entertain like the best of them, and train the next generation of sports entertainers. But I get here, and there's some stupid university running around in ugly red sweaters who claim that they're doing the same thing I am. They've got poor Duke Hudson who, trust me, Kylan and Brad, they've told me all about you. You naughty, naughty boy. But this is my official declaration. There's only room for one Learning Tree here on SmackDown. Andre Chase. You think you have what it takes to teach the next generation of WWE superstars more than me? I'm the best in the world at what I do. I'm Y2 goddamn J, one of the greatest of all time. And you will respect me. So at SummerSlam, you and I, and the winner gets control of your crappy little university. And when I win, Learning Tree University is going to be off the charts, because finally people will be taught by somebody in this industry with respect and class and honor. Bye, guys. Thanks, guys. So yeah, Chris Jericho challenging Andre Chase to a match at SummerSlam. The good thing about Jericho is I can do Learning Tree just as it is, because I haven't got to worry if I'm infringing on AEW copyright, because he just copyrights all his shit himself. So, he can just do whatever the fuck he wants. And, it's Jericho. It's the Learning Tree. He's funny. It's fine. Andre Chase has been challenged to a match at SummerSlam for control, I guess, of the university. We then cut backstage. Ariana Grace runs up to Charlotte Flair. She goes, Charlotte, I did it. Goes, what did you do? Goes, Saya lost. Queendom lost because of me. And Charlotte goes, Aya. I'm sorry. Because Queendom lost because of me, look. And she shows her, screwing Saya in that match. And Charlotte looks taken aback and she'll go, well, I'll be damned. Ariana, I've been doubting you a lot lately. So it comes from deep within my heart that I say, good job. I'm proud of you. Now SummerSlam, we need to also pick up a victory there, so you need to be on your best game. You got me, Ariana? And she puts her hand on Charlotte's shoulder and she goes, please, you can call me Ari. And Charlotte's like, okay, Ari. Right? And she just smiles and nods her head and goes, yes, my queen. And then come back to Chase U. They're reacting to the news. And Thea's like, you know what? Screw Chris Jericho, okay? I used to like him, when I was growing up in this industry, and I wanted to become a wrestler. I was watching him on Raw. He was carrying the list around. I thought he was great. He was one of my favorite wrestlers, but goddamn, he's actually a bit of a bitch, bastard. All these bad words. He goes, calm down, Thea, calm down. It's fine. He's not the first person to take aim at Andre Chase University. I'm sure you'll remember last time with Tony D'Angelo and them trying to take us down. But the Chase U spirit can't be broken. Once you're Chase U, you bleed red and black for life. But in terms of Chris's challenge, I don't know if I can risk it. And they were sort of like gasp and like, what? And he goes, listen, I know we need to get this monkey wrench off our back. But him and Aussie Open, they're trying to drive a wedge between us. With Duke. And now Duke, we've got to stick by Duke. Duke's our boy for the summer. But I can't there's nothing for me to gain by facing Chris Jericho at SummerSlam. And then Bodie steps in and he goes, Mr. Chase, you're not worried, are you? Because, let me tell you, Mr. Chase, I've been down and out. You mentioned the last time with the D'Angelo family, they took me out of commission. You couldn't even rely on me to fight for Chase U back then. But I'm willing to die for this university. And Mr. Chase, if you don't think you can do it, then we all believe in you. And then Morgan goes, yeah, Mr. Chase, there's no reason for you to be scared of Chris Jericho. Screw him and his learning tree. Chase U have got this. The university will fall where it belongs, in the hands of you, Mr. Chase. And he goes, you know what? I can do it. We're Andre Chase motherfucking University, and at SummerSlam, we're gonna fight off the next pretender who's so desperate to take our success. And they will start screaming, going, yeah, Chase U. And then they all walk off, and the camera sort of pans on Keith Lee and Duke Hudson. And then Keith Lee sort of walks up to him, and he goes, you're not gonna join in with the celebrations, Mr. Hudson? And he goes, I'm not in the mood, Keith. He goes, now, you do know, if there's anything on your mind, if you want to open up, I'm always here to listen. It's like, I get it. Oh, thanks, Keith. It's just probably best if I don't bother you with it all right now. Then he walks off. And Keith puts his glasses on. He goes, strange man. I sure do hope when he's ready, he can confide in his cohorts here at Andre Chase University. '81 rated tag match. Nice, sure. Aoi Maikawa does the carrying here. Good work, Aoi. But yeah, Raquel and Zelina do pick up the win. Zelina pinning Meiko with a moonsault in 12:55. 66 for Raquel, 70 for Zelina, 62 for Meiko, 82 for Aoi. So yeah, this brief little tag team stint of Zelina Vega and Raquel Rodriguez ends in victory. So yeah, they get a win tonight. Weird. We then cut to Dakota Kai. She's in her locker room. Sort of like just taking deep breaths. When the door opens and Candice, Tegan, and Piper all walk in. And they all sort of just look at Dakota like nobody's saying anything. And Dakota goes to speak and Candice like, look. I know. We thought this was over too. But we did it before. We came together because of you and your strength. You took them down when they were at their strongest. Now they're just trying to get that strength back, and you are the one who holds the championship that they need to get that strength back, and you can't let us down. And she goes like, yeah, gee, no pressure. And goes, look, just a month ago you came up to me because Ember Moon took you out there and she questioned your integrity. She questioned your heart. And you know what you did at Evolution? You lasted 25 minutes in a World Championship match, came out on top, and earned the right to call yourself World Champion, and earned the respect of Ember Moon as well. And at WrestleMania, you beat Io. This is nothing. SummerSlam's nothing. We'll always have your back. If you need us, that is. Should Queendom want to get involved, because, I am kind of busy at SummerSlam. And Dakota sort of laughs because Candice, it's, again, something I need to do alone. And then Piper sort of like, or Tegan sort of like goes in her pocket. And she goes, I know physically you'll be alone, but metaphorically, we never will. And they're like, they've got like special like Liberators bracelets or something. They like, Tegan hands them out. You'll put them on. Like, put their hands in the middle and go, this represents our metaphorical bond that Queendom will never break. So I'm making a promise right here, right now. After SummerSlam, we're all going to stand here. And we're all going to be champions. And Dakota just laughs and goes, yeah, we're all going to be champions. Now, if you excuse me, I've got some things I need to say to some old friends. And she walks out, she leaves the locker room. Speaking of Queendom, Nick Aldis is in his office with Cammy there, and he goes, Nick, I think it's so great that SummerSlam is going to have Queendom overload again. Of course, on Saturday night, in the main event, you've got Io Sky versus Dakota Kai, Women's World Championship match, where Queendom will regain the Women's World Championship. But then Sunday night, you've got Queendom in a 6-woman tag team match, Utami Hayashishita, Julia, and Yoko against Charlotte and Ariana and Ava. And Nick goes, whoa, Cammy. Like, slow your roll. Like, but we're finalizing the cards for SummerSlam right now, when your match, the Queendom 6-man tag team match, that's on Saturday, not Sunday. Carrie sort of like takes a shocked look back and goes, come again? And Nick Aldis goes, Utami, Julia, Yoko versus Charlotte, Ariana, Ava will be taking place on SummerSlam Night 1, the same night as Io and Dakota. And Cammy goes, no, come on, that can't be right. He goes, it is. We can't, because, we've got to try and spread these nights out evenly, and this is what we've come to. Cammy goes, well, that's going to throw a spanner in plans, Nick. You might need to make a little change to your match card right there. And she leaves. And Nick goes, well, what the fuck? What's she moaning about? Well, why can't she work Saturday? 66. Sure. Fallon Henley's no Aaliyah, Ember Moon does pick up another win, though. Top rope stunner in 12:45. Ember Moon gets a 66. Fallon Henley a 57. So yeah, like, in terms of performances based on these two, it's actually a pretty good match. So, Fallon did hang with Ember Moon tonight, and after the match, Ember does extend her hand the same way she did to Dakota Kai at Evolution, because Fallon Henley also won her over. But Fallon doesn't accept it. She just shakes her head and walks away. And Ember Moon just sort of shrugs her shoulders and goes, okay, I want to show respect to you, and you're going to disrespect me. We then see Kayla backstage. She goes, ladies and gentlemen, my guest at this time, Sami Zayn. She goes, Sami, last week on SmackDown, you ended off the show, you made your reappearance, and you booted the United States Champion Neville in the face. Sami goes, I feel energized, Kayla Braxton. Back at Money in the Bank, Neville beat me in front of my friends and my family. And I thought that was it for my chances to become United States Champion. But here in WWE, you can never say never. And I'm now one step ahead of Neville. You know, I've just get done talking to Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce. And I come here with big breaking news. At SummerSlam, Sami Zayn will challenge Neville for the United States Championship in a Money in the Bank rematch. And this one's different, Kayla. Because of Money in the Bank, I was in my hometown, I had my hometown fans behind my back, but now I've got to avenge that loss. I'm carrying that weight on my shoulders. You will be seeing Sami Zayn, the Grand Slam champion. I'm going to kick Neville's head off. It's going to take me all the way back a decade to when I first won a championship here on WWE, beating Neville for that NXT championship. And this time, it's going to be exactly the same as that time. Then he leaves, and the camera sort of pans on Kayla. She goes, well, like you hear it, it's official. Sami Zayn will challenge Neville for the United States Championship. Now, you know, Michael Cole, and back to you. And Tonya Breeze goes, no, we're not finished here, Kayla. Sure, like pats her on the head and takes the mic off her. She goes, I bet you think, you know, you're really slick, don't you? Kayla goes, no. Why? She goes, well, I see the way you've been staring at me, eyeing up my men. You know, you think because, what, you're in bed with Omos and Otis, that you can disrespect me? Kelly goes, I just, you know, Omos was showing off the fragrances, you know, there's nothing else more to it than that. Tony goes, you know what, you're supposed to be unbiased, Kayla. But I'll beat that out of you. Next week, I'm going to have a match. Do you know who that match is against, Kayla? And then she just shrugs and goes, no. She goes, it's against you. And she hands the mic back and just walks off and goes, see you next week. And Kayla sort of looks concerned, but you know, she's not a fucking wrestler. You know, why is she wrestling next week? But apparently, we are going to see Tonya Breeze and Kayla Braxton one-on-one next week. We then cut back to the water park. You know, Grayson Waller getting out, getting a toweling himself off. There's a drink there waiting for him. Alira's sunbathing. She goes, oh, you know, what a day, you know. Sun's going down, you know. Now I say one more drink and then we're out of here. And then the front doors open. And then there's a tannoy. He goes, is there a Mr. Grayson Waller here? He goes, well, who could that be? He goes, we've got a guest for you at the front desk. And he walks up to the front desk and Baron Corbin's there with a baseball bat. And he goes, surprise! And then Grayson Waller runs away from him. Corbin chases him with the baseball bat. And then, it's been in the goals for a while now. We get a cinematic match in the water park. You know, Corbin's chasing Waller down slides. You know, they're sliding down each side of the slide, throwing punches at each other. You know, throwing each other into swimming pools and trees and shit. You know, just general water park fun. We do the spot where, you know, you get the slide where, you know, you go down the slide and there's a big ramp at the end and you fly up and into the air and into the water. Grayson Waller tries to hit a big elbow in midair. There, Corbin rolls out of the way. He splashes into the water, gets Aaliyah wet. Pause. And yeah, Corbin of course brought a referee with him. I forgot to mention. And in the end, Corbin does plant Grayson Waller with an end of days and pins him in the water park. The cinematic approach completely backfired. The match was a self-indulgent mess. What the fuck are you talking about? I could have sworn that I would have done well with a cinematic. Whatever. It's fine. It's better in real life than it is in the game. Because outside of the arena, fights are always great. And yes, Baron Corbin went to the water park and beat up Grayson. We did get the match after all. And yes, Baron Corbin does leave proud of himself as Grayson Waller is sent to, you know, the A&E at the water park. as Aaliyah follows him in concern. And then get a quick Queendom segment. Io, she's getting ready for her, face-to-face with Dakota Kai in the main event coming up next. When Cammy walks into the locker room. She goes, girls, pause, I got a big announcement. And Io sort of looks confused and goes, huh? She goes, Io, there's been a slight change of plans. Okay. So, you know how Utami, Julia, and Yoko were going to wrestle Charlotte, Ariana, and Ava at SummerSlam, 6-woman tag? And he was like, yeah. She goes, well, I've just been spoken to Nick Aldis, and apparently that can't happen anymore. Saya tonight really wants to get revenge on Shayna Baszler. And she grabs Saya, pushes her into frame, and goes, isn't that right, Saya? And Saya's like, yeah, sure. Because so, I think instead, what we're going to do is it'll be Julia, Yoko, and Saya against Charlotte, Ariana, and Ava. And he just looks confused and goes, why? Why not Utami? Cammy goes, Utami, she has other things planned that night. And Io goes, no, she doesn't. It's me against Dakota and the 6-woman tag. Cammy goes, well, there's a conflict of interest. Saya, Julia, and Yoko will be the team going forward, and maybe Utami can, accompany you for the main event. And Io's like, I go alone. And she leaves. Cammy follows her out because, we've got the face-to-face coming up next. And all three of the women just sort of look at Saya. She sort of just shrugs their shoulders and goes, I guess I'm in the match now. Next week, we have a pretty stacked final episode of SmackDown before SummerSlam, including the big 2 out of 3 falls match between Angelo Dawkins and Carmelo Hayes. Their rivalry's been going on for a while now, and it will finally come to an end on next week's episode of SmackDown. Plus, following their interaction earlier on tonight, we're going to run it back Xavier Woods, Tyler Breeze, one-on-one on next week's episode of SmackDown. Plus, apparently, Tanya Breeze has challenged Kayla Braxton to a match on next week's episode of SmackDown, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes, and if it even happens. But yeah, it's on the running, so who knows. And then moving on to SummerSlam, we've got some new stuff announced for the show itself, including for the United States Championship. It will be the champion Neville defending one more time against Sami Zayn. Sami was defeated by Neville in his hometown at Money in the Bank. Now he's got a chance to get revenge on the champion and capture that one championship he's never won here in WWE. Plus, the fate of Andre Chase University is on the line once again as Andre Chase battles the learning tree himself, Chris Jericho. And a change to the 6-woman tag team match lineup. We'll now see Julia, Yoko, and Saya of Queendom facing off against Charlotte Flair, Ariana Grace, and Ava Raine. An interesting change made by Cammy to sub out Utami for Saya on Saturday night. Plus, we heard on last week's Velocity is now official, a sort of WrestleMania rematch, because one of the members has changed. Dragon's Dojo and LA Extreme for the Cruiserweight Trios Championships will take place at SummerSlam. Outcome, Io and Cammy. And Cammy goes, well, 8 long, hard days remain. I came out here after Io lost the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania, and I said what doesn't kill Queendom can only make us stronger, and that the Io's defeat was only a minor setback in the greater goal. Now, along the way, some things might not have gone the way we wanted them to, but we always knew destiny would bring us back here. Now, Dakota, I'm not one for destiny. I don't know if you are. But, something about this, it just feels right. So, if you get yourself out here right now, be man enough to look Io face to face in this ring. Because a whole lot's changed over the last 4 months, and we have so much more to get off our chest. Dakota comes out. She gets into the ring. And she sort of looks at Io. You can see, like, her mouth start, like, twitching. Like, out of nerves. Io is just stone-faced, staring at Dakota. And Cammy sort of, like, gets in Dakota's face. And he goes, I see a twitch. Io, I see a twitch. This women's world champion. This great world champion, you know. The great mastermind behind what was supposed to be our downfall all those months ago. Stands here afraid of a rematch with the genius of the sky. Now, don't get me wrong, I would be too. Because Dakota, you know, we've been eyes and ears all around this place. And everything that Ember Moon said to you was right. And you know it's right, because it's still eating at you right now. You can't sleep at night, waking up in cold sweats, knowing that things between you and Io, they weren't done. And quite frankly, I'm not sure they'll ever be done, but as far as this goes, it will be done in 8 days. 3 times you and Io faced off that Women's World Championship. Let's not get it twisted. You won 1, Io won 2. And that's what really bothers you about this, isn't it? At WrestleMania, you felt that pressure. You felt the pressure of stopping Queendom once and for all, or so you thought. And all these friends you made when you told Tegan and Piper to betray us because it'd be better off for their careers. You had a whole of a lot riding on that match. Some could say more than we did. So bravo. You've held Io's championship nice and warm all these months. But you knew this was coming back to us. All you could mention all that time we were gone was Queendom this, Queendom that. Do you care more about us than you do being Women's World Champion? Now, I could sit here and say that, you know, you haven't been impressive as the Women's Champion, but I'd be lying. Because Io doesn't lose to wrestlers who aren't great. No matter what the circumstances around it were at WrestleMania. But now, Io has absolutely nothing to lose. And you, my dear Coda, have everything to lose. The pressure at WrestleMania was on you. But now, the pressure's on you even more. 'Cause you go to SummerSlam and you lose the last 9 months of your life. Enough time for other people to create life was the amount of time you spent in the shadows coercing to try and tear us apart. For it to just be a minor setback, that would make it all a big, giant waste of time. I see your pretty little new bracelet on there that your friends made you. Liberators. It's a cool little cute name you made for yourself. But what does it really mean? You didn't liberate SmackDown from anything. Queendom still runs this place whether we've got the championship or not. So now, Io can go to SummerSlam and lose. It's fine. If Io loses at SummerSlam, it's no harm, no foul. Because we always have a plan B to get that championship back, whether you want to hear it or not. But if you fail to keep a hold of that championship, all of this is reset back to the way it was last year. And don't you think we'll be a little more wise to who we let into the group this time to avoid such a thing happening again? That's the reality you've got to live with. When you faced off with Ember Moon, it was about whether or not you had what it took to be a Women's World Champion. But now, it's about whether you've got what it takes to, in your words, save the division from the evil rule of the genius of the sky. And we're about to find out what you're really made of. And it goes, oh, I forgot how annoying your voice was. Okay. Like, yes, ever since I captured this championship, you have been this dark cloud over my head because you wouldn't let me rest. Okay, back at Payback, you and your girls attempted to take my championship back from me. Ahead of Money in the Bank, you warned me that Shirai was going to win Money in the Bank and take this championship from me, but guess what? I'm still here as champion. 4 months removed from WrestleMania, I'm on top of my game. Is Io? Because if Io didn't win Queen of the Ring, so I can tell you at least Nova is ahead of Io right now in terms of her game. Io took those 4 months off. For what reason? Beats me. But in that time, this division has evolved. Queendom has evolved. So now, Io, I want to speak to you. Ignore her, she's not important. She said her piece. I'm not even sure she speaks for you anymore. Listen to her. Listen to me. This match at SummerSlam, it has the potential to be the biggest women's main event in SummerSlam history. And you'd know all about that last year. You had arguably the greatest women's match we've ever seen in the main event of SummerSlam in the Tokyo Dome. But I say this as someone who used to respect you. You, Io, are the one who needs a reality check. You're the one who needs to wake up. Because I don't know if you can look around and see what's happening here. But in these last 4 months, half your family has been ripped away from you. Cammy and Utami, they're the only ones still around from the last time you were here. You're being phased out of your own family, Io. Now, that doesn't bother me. The sooner Queendom dies, the better. But I need you to look at her and really know deep down in yourself what you want to do. Do you want to sit here and let her speak for you? And do you want to bring her out there at SummerSlam for this big women's main event? Or do you want to leave her in the back? I'll leave my friends in the back. And we can finally, no outside interference, no BS, nothing, figure out who is the real world champion between you and I. Because, let's face it, if that situation emerges and I lose, I'll be able to rest knowing that I lost to you fair and square. And Io sort of looks across at Cammy, looks back at Dakota, and Cammy goes, Io, listen to her, you know. She's doing it again. Like, she's trying to drive a wedge between us. Like, because I'm the one who didn't betray you last time because Tegan and Piper did, okay? She's back to her old tricks. Okay, so just ignore her. Focus on the game plan. SummerSlam. Us becoming champions. And Dakota, 8 more days. And my queen leaves SummerSlam as the women's world champion. And she leaves the ring. Dakota follows Cammy out when she sort of stops, like when she gets to the ropes. Looks back at Dakota, looks back at Cammy. Cammy's like, "Come on, Io, get out, get out." And Dakota sort of just like looks at her, shrugs her shoulders, and goes, "Your choice. What do you want to do?" And Io goes to leave, and she turns around, she smacks Dakota in the back. She takes Dakota down, she starts attacking Dakota Kai. Goes up to the top rope, hits the moonsault. She takes the mic herself. She says, "I am the queen. I need to beat you and take back my title." Slams the mic down. Her and Cammy leave together to end the show. What is happening with these shows? Jeez, oh, the main event bombed. Yeah, never mind. 2 dud main events back to back. I need to fucking have a banger main event for Raw. So yeah, Velocity is probably going to outscore SmackDown this week, but that doesn't really matter because what matters more is what you thought of the show. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you on the other side now for Velocity. Velocity kicks off with the new and inaugural WWE Speed Champion Javon Evans coming to the ring. And he says, "Oh, last week I managed to do it. I managed to win my first championship here in WWE at just age 20. Now, this championship is brand new here, and a lot of people look at a championship like this and the gimmick around it, and they think it means nothing. But that's where it's up to you, the young OG, to fix that. Because as long as I hold this championship, this speed championship proves the very best of the best here in Velocity who can get things done in 5 minutes or less. And Cedric Alexander interrupts him. He goes, congratulations, young OG, you know, whatever that means, but let's get one thing perfectly clear. The only reason you're holding that championship right now, and it's not around my waist, is because I got screwed. Now, I think the rules for this goddamn championship should be changed. I hope someone reaches out to that idiot RJ City and says that no outside interference should be allowed in these 5-minute bouts, because Axiom, the Cruiserweight champion, cost me that shot because he's jealous that I'm going to take his championship from him. Then Axiom comes out and he goes, well, you know, if you want to just speak to me, you should have said something before tonight, Cedric, but if you want to come out here and do this like this, you know, I did what I did because Javon is one hell of a talent, and he deserves everything that he gets here in his young career. You know, you saw him on Raw against Seth Rollins, and he goes, yeah, I did. You know, it pissed me off that you got that opportunity, because that opportunity should be mine. But it's fair enough, kid, because you can have that championship, because I'm focused on a bigger prize. That right there, that Cruiserweight championship that I've held before, and I'll hold again. And then Axiom goes, I'll tell you what, Cedric, I'm an honorable champion. Me and Javon tonight will team up against you, and if you can find a tag team partner, and if you and your partner can beat us, I'll give you a shot at my Cruiserweight Championship at SummerSlam. So he just goes and goes, good job writing your death warrant, idiot. Just thought you were supposed to be smart of all that math stuff. And he leaves. So yeah, that's our main event tonight. Cedric and a partner of his choosing against Javon Evans and Axiom. If Cedric wins, then he will get a shot at Axiom's title at SummerSlam. 81 rated opener. You know, we've got the trios match up for SummerSlam, so we're going to do some singles matches in the build-up to it. The first being Ruca against Dante Rios. Go 17 minutes and 9 seconds, and Ruca does win with the La Lanza. And yeah, 82 for Ruca, 73 for Dante Rios. And of course, if that happens at SummerSlam, you'll have new Cruiserweight Trios champions. 70 rating here, sure. Kenta is quite washed, so, you know. He's only back for the vibes. He's in NXT Japan. New Japan didn't let his contract extend, so yeah, sure, he's here. And he beat Zachary Ben-Shahar 13-12 with a Kenta combo into Bisaiku knee. 62 for Hideo Itami, and 71 for Big Zachary Ben-Shahar. Then we cut backstage. Cedric is in Gorilla. You know, quick episode of Heat, because a lot of the matches are quite long tonight, you know. The opener went 17 minutes, the main event's going, I think, 16, and this went 13. So, you know, only 3 matches tonight. The speed tournament will kick up back again after SummerSlam. It's going to work the same way it does IRL, where we're just going to keep doing tournaments. Winners of the tournaments get a shot of the belt, you know, etc. But yeah, we cut backstage. Rick Alexander, has he found a tag team partner when into frame walks Mustafa Ali. He goes, Cedric, I'm glad you reached back out to me. You know, I thought when things ended badly between us back at Clash at the Castle that we were going to be enemies. But I see that in my absence you've been taking my words to heart, which is why I would be honored to help you get that Cruiserweight Championship match at SummerSlam. Cedric goes, great, yeah, let's do it one more time, me and you for the road. 80 rating. Big Mustafa Ali, he's done it again, gets a 93. 76 for Cedric, 66 for Javon, 83 for Axiom, and yes, in 17-21, Cedric Alexander hits the lumbar check on Javon Evans, pinning him, and officially earning him the right to challenge Axiom for the Cruiserweight Championship at SummerSlam in a match that I really don't want to be on the kickoff. So I'm going to try and find a way to get onto the main show, but we'll see. I'll keep you updated. But yeah, Cedric Alexander Axiom Cruiserweight Championship on the line at SummerSlam. To end, Velocity gets a 76, so yeah, better than SmackDown. I ended SmackDown with a water park brawl, and Velocity had fucking banger matches all up and down. This is for the sickos, you could say. But yeah, what matters more is what you thought of the show. Do let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time for Raw, the go-home show for SummerSlam. See you then.